Okay, we're gonna learn minor pentatonic licks, bluesy licks in all 5 patterns that you can use over pretty much any style, right? Even if you just know one pattern of minor pentatonic, this pattern, you should be able to find this video useful. Okay, so let's start out with this pattern. And we're gonna call it pattern number 1 because it's sometimes called pattern number 1, or it could be called out of the G shape of the cage system. Anyway, this pattern. All right, here's your basic blues lick like this. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the 7th fret of the G string. You can do a whole step bend, or a partial bend, make sure that it comes all the way down. Then my pointer finger on the 5th fret of the G string, and then my ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string. So, right, and you can add a rake to that if you want. Alright, that's lick 1. I'm going to show you 3 licks in this position because it's really, really a common position. This pattern right here. Another super easy lick. I'm playing a double stop on the top 2 strings and I'm sliding into the 5th fret. So I'm really playing just these 2 notes, but I'm doing a grace note. So this has really no value. It's just don't go. Doesn't sound the same. Just like that, and you can blend it. You can also play it on the G and the B string. So, right? Okie dokie. So here's one more lick because I just really like this lick. It's so I'm bending on the G string, 7th fret, and while the string is still bent up a whole step, I play the 5th fret of the B string. So. Don't go. It's a different lick. You could do that, but it's this. So you bend the 7th fret of the G string a whole step, then 5th fret of the B string, and 5th fret of the high E string. And then you bend the 8th fret of the B string with your pinky or your ring finger. A whole step, so. You can add vibrato. Okay, we're gonna skip over to here, which I believe some people call pattern 4. Or you can think of it as out of the C shape of the cage system. And we're gonna play the same lick, this lick, in this position. That's just a good lick because you can throw anything in there. It's that lick, right? Okay, just so you know, in this position, you can also bend the higher of the 2 notes on the high E string. So you can bend this guy too. That's not really a lick, but just good to know. These are the kosher notes to bend. Okay, now we're gonna move around and we're gonna go back over here, and we're gonna go into this pattern, which is sometimes called pattern 5, right, of the cage system. So here's a really, really simple lick. We're going to start by bending the 5th fret of the G string. It's just a 2-note lick. With a rake, it sounds cool, right? So what I'm doing is I'm killing this note before it descends. So I'm going. With my right hand, I'm hitting it. And then just applying vibrato. If you apply vibrato and raking, it just gives you attitude. That's just. You don't even need licks if you have good vibrato. Just use sliding and vibrato, right? Okay, that's just a really easy lick in that position. Now we're gonna move to this pattern, which I think is called pattern 3, right? This is an A over here, right? All right. So I'm gonna show you the exact same lick in this position. So I'm bending the 13th fret of the B string, killing the note, and I'm playing the root. I'm playing an A on the B string. So you could also go like this. It's just a different lick. And this note's great to bend in this position. Okay, so now we got one pattern left, and I think they call this pattern 2. Or you could think of it as like, it might be weird to conform this stuff to the cage system, but I you know, yeah, I mean, it would be like the equivalent of playing in the E shape of the major pentatonic, or the E shape of the cage system. Anyways, this pattern's weird, but there's some great licks. So we're gonna start on the 10th fret of the high E string. We're gonna go. So it's this lick again, all over again. So I'm bending the 10th fret a whole step. Descending, I'm playing the 8th fret. And then I'm landing on the 10th fret of the B string. Alright, let me give you one more lick in this position, because this one's kind of weird. So we're going to break the rules a little bit. We're going to use a note that doesn't belong in straight up minor pentatonic. We're going to use a sixth. Now we're going to go like this. I just like this lick. So you can do it without the double stop. So what I'm doing is I'm playing 7th fret of the G string, and I'm doing a little hammer-on with my pointer finger. I'm picking only once. Hammer-on the 8th fret of the G string, on that blue note, which also doesn't really belong in pentatonic, but it's a common note. Then with my pick key, I'm playing the 10th fret of the D string, and I'm landing on the 7th fret of the D string. If you want to make it a little fancier, you can simultaneously play the 7th fret of the B string. So we have, I'm letting this. If you notice on my right hand, I'm doing a lot of muting on the strings I'm not using. So if I'm playing on the B string, for instance, my hand is sliding and just like, it's covering the notes I'm not using. Don't worry, you're only gonna stop your guitar from playing stuff that you don't want. If I didn't do that, it would sound, hear that? The guitar, all that ringing, if I was using a ton of distortion, it would sound really, really bad. So don't be afraid to choke up on it. And so I'm gonna try to, it doesn't have to be a blues song, right? You could be playing over anything and use these licks. Like, these are stock licks that'll work over tons of styles of music. So recognize these licks? I'm in this pattern. Now I'm in this pattern. That was our very first lick, but now I'm in pattern 4. So if you're struggling in one of these patterns, what you should do is put on a song that's in a random key. If you don't know the key, or if you have trouble finding out keys, just go on YouTube and type in like blues jam and B, and let's say you are having trouble with pattern 5. You could be like, okay, well here's B, and just start out by being like, okay, what is pattern 5 and B? It's this. And what's the lick I learned? It's this lick. Once that's cool, then switch to a different key, a totally different key, like D, and be like, okay, D, there's my D. My lick is, just get really good in that one pattern in all different keys, and that's how you can work out any patterns that you have trouble with. Anyhow, hope this was useful. Enjoy it.